Well, good afternoon. This is Southern Truth coming to you live from Adelaide, Australia on the 26th day of February of 2025. Sorry I'm late. I had to go to the midweek gym session. I just got back, and this is day 4 of searching for the missing Beaumont children. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone that joined us yesterday live at the Old Castalloy factory. And sorry that the battery went flat and whatnot, but we do have updates of that live stream yesterday. Once the cameras were shut off, there was a lot more activity going on. First and foremost, if you haven't liked or shared or even subscribed, please do so right now, and you'll help the algorithm grow. Also, there's a warning I like to present every time we talk about the Beaumont children. Southern Truth is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumours, gossip, theory, speculation, tied up with a little bit of comedy and a whole bunch of chaos. Everybody that has been alleged as a suspect in this cold case is innocent to proven guilty under the court of law, even though some people that had been alleged are no longer alive. Anything I say is solely my honest opinion, and it doesn't persuade each way the case shall be. Also, anybody else's opinion that they're in the chat room or in the comments section below after this broadcast is completed, it's entirely their opinion only, and it does not affiliate with any opinions that yours truly have. And last and foremost, please be yourself and stay out of trouble. Well, as I mentioned before, I'm sorry I'm late coming live. I had to go to my midweek gym session. I just got home. There had been a press conference live at the same today, and I missed it. This is going to be the first time I'm going to hear it along with you guys of what the development's been happening this morning at Castalloy. And also, after that, we are going to talk about the updates that I have and some stories and some things that I have seen with my own eyes yesterday once the cameras were turned off live at the scene. But first and foremost, let's go to the press conference that happened about an hour ago. I missed it, and I'm pinching myself that I missed it. But anyway, we're here now. We're going to listen to it once again on the replay, and let's see how this goes. Right, just bear with me for a second. Oh, hold on. Give me a couple of seconds. You know, I've got so many dials here that I have to. So this is from Channel 9 Adelaide. Channel 9 Adelaide. Let's see what they have to say.
Castalloy site, and I have to say it's a real mammoth job. Even I couldn't comprehend what a big job this has been, and I have to thank the Earth Movers, Flavio and Sons, and also Renewal SA for the effort that's gone in here. Something like 2,500 cubic metres of soil has been moved, and that accounts to nearly 2,500 tonnes of soil. And you can just see behind me what a massive effort this has been. And look, it easily eclipses what the police did here in 2013 and 2018. This has been far more comprehensive dig. And as I said, you know, we really wanted to leave no stone unturned in trying to locate the area that the Harkin brothers, David and Rob, had dug 3 days after the children disappeared in 1966. Now, we're still looking for that area. The excavators moved back to area number 1 after they had a look at the site yesterday, because they recalled that the area that they had dug on contained a lot of sandy soil rather than the harder material that has been at sites 2 and 3. And the deeper we went, and I think we've gone down about 5 metres so far, the material is quite clearly fill that has been added there over the decades. It's been compacted, it's very hard soil, and it would have been difficult for 2 boys to dig that with shovels. And they were adamant that when they were here, it was sandy and occasionally the sand would collapse upon them. And that indicates that, of course, site number 1 is another area of interest. So the excavators moved in there again yesterday and excavated more material. Marchie Henningberg will explain what happened there. They're likely to go back there. In that time, more information has come forward about another possible site to excavate, and that's what the excavators are doing now. So suddenly we have now a further site that is now being excavated. So this is site number 4, and that information came forward that once there was a shed that stood there on a concrete slab, and again, it's important that we explore that area while we're here, in the event that perhaps, firstly, that the grave had been dug there, but also we want to find the type of soil is under there, because if we find that it was Plymton red soil, which is that sandy material, certainly indicates that there were bountiful supplies of that material here at that time. So now the excavators have moved in there and having a look there. So again, as I said, this is a very exhaustive, comprehensive dig. And look, we're trying everything to locate that grave and see if we can eliminate the prospect. We just need to know where it was and also what was put in there in 1966. That's the whole purpose of this dig. And I can safely say that what's happened here over the last 4 days is certainly far more comprehensive than what the police have done. So, you know, if it eliminates the site, I think we've done our job. Well, information was passed on to us by Renewal SA that this was probably another area of interest that we want to look at. And it's been shown to us where it was, and we'll give you a copy of that. Or show it to you. Yeah, we've got a copy of it. And so that's another area that we're going to do. And it's just only a few metres from site number 2, which was excavated yesterday to 5 metres. So we're having a look at that. It's what?
So
yeah, it's 69. It's areas from 1969. So that building was there. But, you know, Marchie and Bill can talk to you more about that.
Sorry, we can't hear the questions being asked.
Yep. Yeah, there is. There are gates here, right? And look, you have to remember, 59 years have passed, and your memory's not going to be as sharp as it was at that time. So to exactly pinpoint where you were 59 years ago. You can get close, and we think we're close to where they were, and they had a look at it yesterday. And then when we showed them site number 1, there was a distinct possibility that that was it, because a gate was shown where it was, and also the fact that the street level was actually higher than what they were. So we had to have a look at that. But, you know, as I said, this dig is really something that I just could not comprehend the size of it all. And literally, it is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. We could be this far away from the grave site and still miss it. That's how, you know, difficult a job it is. But we have to try. That's what we're here to do, just to have to try. No. It's not that it's unreliable. They are credible people. You know, they just couldn't exactly pinpoint the site back in 2018. It could have been, you know, but now new information has come forward. There's no doubt that they came here and dug a grave-sized hole. But, you know, you have to go back 59 years. This whole area was totally different. But we know that we're in that area. And now we have to find where that grave was dug. And, you know, let's see that we can we can uncover it. I hope we do. I hope we can see what happened. I think we're finding a unique history of this site here, and Marchie can explain a bit more of that.
This is the archaeologist.
Well, we did not find the bones. We did not locate the possible grave. So we did not locate the disturbance of the ground that was caused by digging the 2 by 1 meter hole down to 2 meters depth. We haven't found it. But in the 2018 area, we are finding a history of filling up 4 meters of depth to the area of about 25 by 25 meters with various kinds of landfill. And this obviously is not what is the most important for us, but it tells us how Castalloy were using this area, this ground. It was extremely intensely used. We are finding, I showed you some yesterday, we found more of the beer bottles and Rosella tomato sauce bottles and so on. So we are finding a bit of history of commerce in Adelaide. We are finding wrappings of foods with the weight given in pounds. So obviously it's going on for quite a long time. So, but that's just the part of history. We have not found the grave. And you see how the diggers operate. They go through a lot of soil. We archaeologically normally cut the soil flat and identify the grave pit and so on. But sometimes perhaps it was disturbed or something, and they actually, when they pick up a bucket of soil, see, they don't dump it. They raise the bucket high up and let the soil slide down, and we see all bottles, other little objects, some of the animal bones, and so on. So it's impossible to, by accident, pick up human bones and lose them. We are dealing with 3 children whose total body weight was 65 kilograms. And the Jane was 1.33 meters tall. So there was about 10 kilograms of skeletal remains that were left by those children. So it's not like we can miss it by one spoonful or one bucketful, but we need to find it. Well, it is helpful because obviously it could have been by the gate, and well, it's being excavated. So when we go back this afternoon, we'll see. Well, it only means that there was some activity, human activity going on. So obviously, also the cars could have been parked next to it, as the brother said that there was a car parked next to it. So it just indicates this area was used for something. Well, we don't know. We don't know. Obviously, there is no red sand on the surface anywhere here. About half a meter of landfill was put on the entire area of Castalloy. Sometimes it's 2 meters of recent landfill. So no. When we get down to the level of the shed and about a meter below that level, if we find red sand, it is a good indication that it's worthwhile to look for another location of the pit. But we have to do it. Well, the one as a last hope was explored yesterday, but and we stayed quite a long time. It was explored to the depth of about 4 meters, but there is always a chance that something still can be found. So we are going back to make absolutely sure that there isn't anything there.
Probably here until Friday, by the looks of it.
Yes, certainly.
How are you feeling? You still hopeful? Obviously, you know.
We're still digging, still got places to go. We're not there yet. But remember, we've always said that we're just trying to find the hole to see what was put in the hole. We're not sending children to here. We're not sending children in the hole. It's just more the coincidence that the two guys dug a hole 3 days after the children were abducted by the man that we say abducted them. So we're just trying to find that hole. That's all.
Is there a chance that the hole that police found in 2018 could be that hole that they dug?
It's likely, but they didn't go deep enough. Through no fault of their own. Well, the time the government gives to be here is running out. That'll finish on Saturday, but we'll keep going until the clock finishes or until we finish the job.
What will it mean to you if nothing is found and not that it's fixed?
Keep going.
What does that mean, though?
Well, whatever information comes in, we'll follow it up. That's what we're doing here. We're following up information about the hole to see what was in it. And if that comes to nothing, then we'll wait for all the further information, which is coming in as we speak from people, and we'll follow that up as well.
How many girls has shone a light back on this case? Huge coverage. How many calls have you guys got? How many people have spoken to?
I'd defer to Frank on this because his office has had hundreds, literally. We've had some, but Frank's office.
I've got about 300. I've got about 300 emails. I've got about 300 emails. All right, sorry. I like Channel 7. I've got 300 emails that I have to go through. Now, I haven't been in my office for most of this week. I just called in there this morning, briefly, and my office manager was still on the phone talking to people that had called in. And she's done nothing but answer calls from the public. And strangely, not just about the Beaumonts, but other cold cases. And some interesting information has been coming in. So that's the value of, having exposure on this case, because it also puts exposure on other cold cases, like the Ratcliffe Gordon disappearance, Rihanna Barrow. So I've had people call me about that and send emails in. And that's why it's important we do this sort of stuff, right? Not forget and just leave it as an unforgotten cold case, because it will never get solved if it just remains forgotten. And this is what we're trying to do, is not forget and just try and, use every means we have to try and solve this case. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we're trying to do it. And I thank the media for its contributions, because without the media, right, we wouldn't get this kind of information. And remember that 90% of cases, and Bill will attest to this, are actually solved because of public interest and people coming forward. So that's why it's important that we continue this kind of work. Yeah. Well, look, what I'm going to do, there's been an enormous amount of interest in the Ratcliffe Gordon disappearance, and a number of emails I've received relate to that case, and also the lack of a proper coronial inquest. I can assure you that when Parliament resumes, I will be asking the Attorney General about that, and look, I'll also be writing to the coroner and also the police commissioner, requesting that they do have a look at some of the material that is being put forward now.
Has the coronial inquest
Well, and also for the Beaumonts. But you have to remember the passage of time, 59 years. It's going to be very difficult to have a lot of people who were still around at that time come forward with statements. I think, as I've pointed out, the police investigation in 1966 was bungled. Many witnesses, statements were never taken from them. Who knows where those people are now and what happened? And a lot of vital information has been missed. And again, I just want to point out to what happened here in 2013 and 2018. They didn't take the police haven't taken the circumstantial evidence that has been collected by Bill and Stuart Mullins seriously enough. They just came in here in 2018 with a very small backhoe, dug down about 1 metre, 2 metres, found some animal bones and thought, that's it, we're going away. There's nothing here. They still don't believe that there's anything here. They may be right. But, it was incumbent upon them to do a really comprehensive dig of this site, just as you're seeing here today. And it shouldn't take private contractors and private donations to do their work.
We know who dug the hole. Who filled it in?
It's another mystery. We'll have to assume that it was Mr. Phipps who ordered that to happen. He was here on that day. The boys then left. They were paid. And after that, they had no more to do with it. But quite clearly, Mr. Phipps put something in that hole. You just don't dig a grave-sized hole for no reason at all and then cover it up. So that's why we're here. Would you like to talk to Stuart?
In terms of all the tips that have been coming into your office of new information, what's the most promising piece of new information that has come in?
Well, of course, the important one was last week that linked the Beaumonts to Mr. Phipps through a marriage to relatives. That was quite a significant piece of circumstantial evidence that wasn't known at the time. I also had a call last week from a woman, very credible woman, who described a person who had raped her in the mid-1960s outside of the High Marsh Soccer Stadium. And the description of the person certainly matched the person of interest in the Beaumont case. The person was wearing a trench coat, had a distinctive hat, and also had a large American car. And she identified that car as a Pontiac Parisienne after having a look. She's still got vivid memories and a very believable person. She went to the police when she was 15 to report it, and the police took no interest in taking her report. And she's lived with that for a long time. She's now in her 60s. Information like that has come forward. And there are a lot of others that we're going to be going through, we're going to be sifting through, and who knows what we can turn up. I've got a lot of reading to do when I get back to work next week.
Have you put any information you received about
Which one?
seeing a person with a phone number?
Sorry?
Have you put any effort into investigating the witness statement from David Smith that was put to your office and to police back in 2015?
Look, I know it's there, but look, at this point, no, I haven't. But we will be doing. I will be doing it. I mean, I'm interested in all aspects of this case and all the information that comes into my office and people that are calling me. I mean, I take them seriously. I treat them with respect, and people are really genuinely concerned, about trying to solve this case. And you can see that from all the calls, the people that have volunteered their services. I mean, we've got a lady who's just come here with a food truck, right? They're donating that, for all the workers over here. And she's come here to, supply lunch and drinks for the people here because she wants to see this case solved. I've stopped in the street. I was walking through the city today, and people were stopping me in the streets and giving me encouragement. Just another person came in while I was having a coffee and said to me, Frank, I pray that something is found there. Even if it isn't, thank you for trying. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. So,
The lady who said she was
Yeah, it will be. So I'll be writing to the police about that and saying, look, they need to have another look at it. And also I'll be referring it to Bill Hayes and Stuart Mullins. In fact, many people that go forward and go to the police are usually discounted. And, at least when they go to Bill and Stuart, they take an interest in what the information that has been supplied to them and try and, ascertain the veracity of it all. Police, of course, are very busy with other matters and more recent matters and don't have the resources to put to it. But, fortunately, we've got the expertise of Bill Hayes, a former major crime detective. We also have Stuart Mullins, whose intrinsic detective work has been amazing in this case, and they are keen to talk to people and eliminate the possibility. Stuart?
How are you feeling getting up to this? How are you keeping your stamina and focus?
It was a long day yesterday, but as I said yesterday, you're hopeful. You're hopeful. And we keep going back to the Harry Phipps. It's been repeated over and over, and it's still worth repeating. He had that grave-sized hole dug at the back of the factory 3 days after the children go missing. Also, it was in Plymton red sand, which is further up that way, and we are moving that way. But also something that Frank had brought up is that when we think of Harry Phipps, why Harry Phipps, there's over 10 pieces corroborated circumstantial evidence pointing directly at Phipps. Now, you only need 3+ to raise the detective's eyebrows. You got 10+. And when you look at the individuals, let's say with Hayden Phipps, the eldest son who said that he was sexually abused, he saw the children in the backyard that fateful day. And you've got his former wife, they both passed away, Angela Phipps. They came forward with very credible information. Firstly, I met them. You have to meet them. You can't take what they're saying as gospel over the phone to find out whether they're credible. You're going to meet face to face. At that time, you pass that information on to the police. I was basically dismissed. And that's why I ended up going to Bill Hayes. And I did ask at that time with Ken Thorson, the former head of major crime, he's now passed, who was the most credible private investigator in South Australia. Bill Hayes name came up many times. And I went to Bill, but it was corroborated circumstantial evidence. He looked at that, took one look, and he said, if this is corroborated and I do need to meet these people, then this is the best information we've ever had. However, when you go back to major crime, did they meet Hayden? Did they meet and speak to Hayden Phipps?
No.
That's just common sense. Did they meet and interview Angela? No. So where are they getting this information from when they say it was a thorough investigation? They're your two most important people, and they were never met and interviewed. So how can it be when your starting platform is basically, as far as I'm concerned, they've skewed this. They've got the outcome. I can't say this with all detectives. I don't. The majority of them are fantastic, but it seems to be skewed towards a narrative that they wanted to produce.
There was a narrative.
You still go back to Harry Phipps. If anybody can come up with somebody that has more circumstantial evidence corroborated, pointing towards them, I would like to know. Bill would like to know. And that hasn't happened.
I think the general public like to know.
Thank you. That point through.
Sorry, do you guys have the map that you're using for the new photograph today? Can we just get some shots of you guys holding that and looking at that? Right, a couple of overlay shots.
Well, that was an update. Now, he was mentioning about the red sand, that the two boys that dug the hole back in 1966, the elderly gentlemen now, they did attend Castalloy factory yesterday morning, just before Shay and I arrived at the scene yesterday. They were there going through the landscape just to get a bit of a memory of where this hole was dug back in 1966. Now, you have to remember, the hole was done 3 days after the Beaumont children disappeared. The brothers, one was 15, the other one was about 13, 14. They were brothers. Their father used to work at this factory site. And the father obviously knew Harry Phipps, who was the owner of the factory. But what we saw after the cameras was cut yesterday because the battery died, a lot more ramped up, and it was a long day yesterday, a very long day yesterday. What I saw, because I got on the ladder a few times during the live stream, it was up against the fence while they're excavating, and Channel 9 and Channel 7 cameramen, they were going up and down the ladder too to see what was going on. About an hour after the camera stopped rolling, they did indeed find some animal remains in the same type of area of the 2018 dig. And when I went across the road, you had Channel 7 reporter on one ladder, and you had the Channel 7 cameraman on the other. Another gentleman that I was talking to came across the road to me and started to say, "Is it bones?" The reporter said no. The cameraman said yes. The reporter then turned around to the cameraman, "Did you capture it all?" And he said yes. Initially, I thought they hit some stone because stone and bones, they rhyme, but I must have been hearing things because it was indeed animal bones. And I saw the gentleman walking along the fence on the other side where they were excavating actually had these animal bones in his hands and he's walking across. Now, one of the animal bones is about this big, right? But there was a handful of them, right? They're mentioning about this red sand. What I saw with my own eyes yesterday when I was up on the ladder looking over the fence, there was a lot of sand, not red sand, very, very fine sand. And in that area in 1966, there was a truckload of sand. There was sand dunes, there was everything. And the landscape had indeed changed over the decades. It's not the same now than what it was back then. But however, before Shay and I did leave the site yesterday, there was a couple of bucket loads that came out where they were mentioned in this press conference just today. I did see some very, very dark soil. It was in a blacky red color, right? Like a real dark red color. It was like asphalt. Yeah. Where they are going, it's going to be like where the camera was yesterday, where we were live streaming, it's off to the left, across the road, but off to the left hand of the camera. That's where they're going to research that area. And the new area, the hole number 4 that they mentioned, is a couple of meters behind the 2018 dig, going towards Marine Avenue, which is on the other side. Like we were on Kincaid, that was up the back of the factory. The new hole is going towards Marine. It's only a couple of meters where the 2018 dig. But I did see a little bit of red soil. I'm not saying it was soil, but I did see some real dark color coming out of the bucket. And it's in that area that they are focusing on. It's in that area. Now, with the two boys that dug they're not boys anymore, they're two gentlemen. When they came to the site yesterday and trying to to get their memory back to where the hole that they dug. They were walking around the perimeters at the site and trying to pinpoint exactly where the hole was dug, and they were giving an aerial map of 1966 and a recent one, and just trying to picture where they have dug this hole. The question everybody's asking, why did Harry Phipps get two boys 3 days later after the Beaumont Children disappeared to dig a grave-sized hole? There must have been a purpose for it, and there must have been a reason. And the most important thing, what did he put inside this hole? Now, no one is saying that the children were put into this hole. It has been a theory, it has been a speculation, but what was put inside this hole? Now, in 2018, they did find animal bones, but like they said, they only went down 1.5 meters. What I saw with my own eyes, they went way deep yesterday. I'm talking about, trigger warning, they went through a shitload of fucking sand yesterday. A shitload of sand. I mean, you didn't see most of it because we were far back from the fence. But when I went up to the fence, and I did, if you go on Southern Truth, there's two small clips that I did yesterday when I was on the ladder. It's down 5 meters easily. They're way deep. But yet they've still got to go down an extra 2 to 3 meters below what they have already dug. And yes, time is ticking, but they are pushing it. They are, like the press conference said just today, they have done so much more than what the South Australian Police done back in 2013 and 2018. Because they don't take this serious. Even the police commissioner said 2 nights ago, they don't take this seriously because the commissioner said, the police commissioner of South Australia said this, they private diggers are doing this based on theories. Well, like what Stuart Mullins said, if there's 10 plus more circumstantial evidence and you haven't even gone to some of these eyewitnesses, how can you be taking this case any serious? Yes, they'd had bungled this case since day one. Their excuse is they don't have enough resources. That's why if you walk around town here in Adelaide, South Australia, you can go on a bus, train, down at your local supermarket, down to your local shopping centre. There's billboard advertisement trying to recruit people to join the South Australian Police Force. As a matter of fact, if you go down one end of the Rundle Mall, there's a massive billboard sign that gets shown to recruit for the South Australian Police. They don't have enough people. My only theory in that is, if the reason why they don't have enough people to join the South Australian Police, how many people of the general public absolutely trust the South Australian Police? South Australia, for those people overseas that don't know, it's indeed the capital city of cold cases. It's the crime, murder capital of Australia. If you want to talk about the Beaumont children, well, let's go to the Snowtown murders, the bodies in the barrel. Let's go up to the Truro murders that happened in the 90s. Or 80s, the Truro murders. That is only this much of what I'm saying right now. But don't believe me, do your own research. You can Google it, you can go to your local library, if you still have a library, you can read up on it. There have been so many sex crimes to children in state ward here in South Australia and around the world, but predominantly here in South Australia, that's been covered up and been suppressed by the South Australian government for another 90 years. If you want to look into the Mulligan inquiry or the Mulligan report, to be more precise. But I did speak to a lot of people yesterday off camera. You probably heard me chatting with the guy. He was there all day yesterday afternoon with me. There was actually another gentleman who does not want to be identified, but I did speak to him. He used to work at this factory, and he met Harry Phipps when he was 14 years of age. And he was telling me yesterday that Harry Phipps is the business type of gentleman, doesn't like to get his hands dirty, but he's quick. He won't stay around too long. He's always on the go. He's always on the move. But he did invite this 14-year-old to go back to his place down at Burnell, where they were residing at the time, to come down, put your bathers on, and jump into the backyard swimming pool. He didn't go there for a swim. Didn't return. But he did tell me he had been inside that house with his family. And I said, did you go down to the basement? He said, no, I didn't go down to the basement. I said, did you go out the backyard? Did you see the cubby house? He said, no, I didn't go in the backyard either. He just went inside the house and he left. And I asked, when you were 14, did Harry Phipps come off creepy? Was there something strange or unusual? He said, no, I didn't see anything. Didn't see anything like that. It was just, he was on the go. He was quick. Didn't want to spend much time. He was a businessman, as we all know. He was always on the go. And he also told me that at this Castalloy factory, they have a lot of furnaces there. They used to have a lot of furnace. You can see the furnace glowing at night time from a distance. And he did indeed say, yes, they did raise the ground level an extra 2 meters. And he verified that I was right, that on one side of the factory site, it was a bit of a drop-off. It used to be a slope. And that's where a lot of the backfill was done. And it's in this area where these holes are being excavated right now. It's in that area. It used to drop off. And people are saying, how come the hole is down deeper, but the street levels, well, the area was not flat. It was a lot of hills of sand. There was sand dunes, you name it. It wasn't flat. And everything got changed over the years. As a matter of fact, when we got to the site yesterday, Shay felt very, very uncomfortable every time we go back to this site just to document or do a live stream, you name it. Shay has this weight, and it's very, very dark and all that. Yeah, she was laughing yesterday and whatnot. That's the way that she handles it. But when we left yesterday, after we finished what we had to do, the weight came off, and then she got a massive migraine. That every time we get near this site at Castalloy, she feels this darkness around her. She feels this weight just being pushed like a heavy, whatever you want to call it, spirit or whatever, just pushing down on her. And yeah, she wanted to join me today, but she's laying down. She had a gym session too. She had a gym session with me today too. And we are going back tomorrow live at the site tomorrow and whatnot. Here's another thing I want to talk about with the mainstream media, especially what I saw with the mainstream media yesterday and what I heard earlier before I got home. And you probably heard in this press conference about human remains being found. Well, human, trigger warning, bones. That archaeologist who is on the site doing the thorough investigation with every bucket that comes through He's saying there haven't been any human remains being found as of yet, but yet they could have missed some due to the bucket scoops and not really seeing it properly. However, early this morning, Channel 7 came out and said there has been some remain bones, so to speak, taken to forensic analysts for DNA testing, and it has been eliminated to be animal bones. Remember, 2 days ago, they said they believe it was a concrete slab that they found. Turned out to be it wasn't a concrete slab, it was a solution element that made the ground harder. When they found these animal bones yesterday, when Shay and I was there, like I said, the Channel 7 reporter didn't say, no, don't. And the cameraman said, yeah, they found bones. And then the reporter turned to the cameraman. I was standing right beside him, underneath, well, they were on the ladder, I was down below. And the reporter said, did you capture it? And he said, yeah. And then when I went up the ladder after the cameraman went down, I went up the ladder, saw the guy walking past the fence line with animal remains in his hand. But yet, this morning, they were saying that there has been some human fragment that's been discovered that was taken to forensic analysts for DNA testing. That is not the case whatsoever. There haven't been any human remains yet to be found. They are still looking. Yes, there has been some artifacts like glass bottles and rubbish and animal bones, but no human remains has been found as of yet. Mainstream media, Channel 7 and Channel 9, are really trigger warning, fucking this up for everybody. They are jumping the gun so quick and so fast that they have to retract every single thing that they report on. But yet you have a YouTuber here who told them yesterday when they were panicking, oh, they found something. I said, hang on a minute, guys. Calm down a notch, shall we? Until these people that are actually doing the excavation and whatnot, until they actually confirm anything, you guys will get told. But please, for the sake of the general public, do not get the report so wild up to the general public. Don't report it false. Don't go around and say it was this, but it ended up being that. We don't know yet. Stop getting your own emotions attached to this. Yes, we all want this case to be solved, but yet your reporting on the site is absolute garbage. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And that's why that forensic expert told them you have to stop reporting about human bones. No human bones has been found yet. None. Yesterday also, when we arrived at the scene, the half-brother of the person who is known on social media, on YouTube and Facebook, we're talking about the Stansbury site where the sinkhole. He had his group of supporters there. He was also there yesterday. I kept Shay a distance away and I was just hearing bits and pieces. And there's only one thing that really stood out that he said, and I did hear it as clear as day. They will never dig the Stansbury area. Never. You can believe them, even though I personally do not believe the half-sister, because she has claimed that she saw the children disappeared and yet she wasn't even born at the time. So how can you see the children disappear if you weren't born? And yet she also hear clairvoyant voices in her head, in her ear, and that. I mean, in my honest opinion, this is just me, and it's not a bashathon to her. She's a Fruit Loop. She's a fruitcake. She has problems. That's just being gentle. Right? That's just my honest opinion. I don't mean any harm to the person. I wish them well. At least they are bringing awareness to the case. That's a good thing. You know, at least the Beaumont Children's name is still being mentioned. So yes, we all want this case to be solved. But you just can't go out there and say that you saw the children disappeared if you haven't been born. You just simply can't do that. Well, now I believe, this is when late last night, I get private messages who were at the site with me yesterday saying that she's now been retracting that she saw it. Now she hasn't been at the site. Her half brother has. Her half brother is relaying the messages to her, and she's just relaying the message what she's been told. That's what I think she's been doing from day one. It's just been relaying messages. Relayed, and she wasn't actually there. That's why she has to backtrack. She has to fix things up, get her narrative in order and all that. But I just want to just leave that alone, right? Leave it alone, because this whole case has been so many twists, turns, highway, byways, long ways, each and every way. It has been one of these things. But yeah, I did see a couple of buckets coming out, and it did have a bit of darkish, reddish colour, like a red blacky colour coming off the top. Well, that's the area that they're focusing on today. They're trying to find this red sandy area because, yes, there's a lot of dirt out there. There's a lot of sand out there, but most of that's on the top level is just real fine, clear sand that you find down at the beach. Yeah, there's some rocks in there. There's some like sandy stuff that can break apart in your hand. There's rubbish. I saw one bucket load that came out that had a clear plastic, a big long clear plastic sheet, clear plastic that came out of it, and that was down 5 meters. He just scooped it up with the bucket, dumped it, and there was a big long stretch of plastic, clear plastic. There's rubbish there, glass bottles, animal bones, you name it. And some of these glass bottles are indeed dated back into the 60s. They've got the old currency still written on the bottle, the pound. We're not in the pounds anymore, we're in the Australian dollar. I mean, there's so much to unfold, but time ticking. They now got to Saturday. Initially, they only had till Friday, but now they've got to Saturday because now they're digging the 4th hole. They were doing 3, but now there's a new area, hole number 4. I'll be out there. Yes, I'll be out there tomorrow with Shay and see what I can see. And if I can get a couple of minutes with Stuart Mullins and Bill Hayes, I will probably film it for a video separate to the live stream. I'll do that if they have time, but they are flat out. I mean, there is a shitload of sand and topsoil that has been removed, like 25,000 tons, 1,000 tons. And I suspect they're just going to fill the holes back up with this sand just so they can build the houses on it when they're finished. But fuck me. I'd said to Shay yesterday, it looked like they're building massive sandcastles. And actually, I did say this too. This is a joke, just to put a bit of a light on the subject. The way that they are doing it at the moment, you can actually set up a paintball park and you can hide yourself behind these big freaking mounds of sand that they've dug out and just pop your head out and go and stuff. But, oh man, You can turn this into a massive amusement park for paintball. Massive. But that was just a joke for me yesterday. Because we weren't getting reports that much. It was just full on. They're just going down. Yes, the fire truck did come past yesterday for a brief moment. Initially, the report was coming from one of the reporters that they'd hit something. They didn't really. They didn't really hit anything. What they did after that, they came back and they were digging and they were starting and stopping. They were checking the buckets more thoroughly after that, after lunch. And that's when they found the animal bones. I saw the guy walking past the fence on the other side when I got up the ladder to pop his head over. And yeah, he had it in his hand. It was an animal bone about this big, among a handful of other bones. It looks like the animal being butchered. Like you go to a butcher, it's been cut up, and one of the bigger bones of the animal was about this big. You know. Plus, they found other artifacts and realms and you name it. They also found another concrete slab, which is a driveway, which I truly believe that was where the gate where 2018 hole is, hole number 2. There's a gate there. And just off to the right of that, there's a concrete slab. It looks like an old driveway. Right? And Channel 9 cameraman said to the other guy, that's not concrete. And I get up on the ladder and say, mate, that's concrete. It's about a meter thick. Well, that's all you can see from the top, right? But it was a driveway. It was concrete slab. It was about 1.5 meters square. It was concrete. But the cameraman didn't even know what freaking concrete looked like. I suppose you have to be in the business or in the game to know what sand, what type of rock you have. You got limestones, sandstone, rimstone. You got all these other stones. That's rock. Then you got cement. Then you got concrete. You got asphalt. You got all these. But this cameraman, he's only there just to point the freaking camera. But the thing is, he's seeing it as much as I'm seeing it, and he doesn't even know half of the things that I'm saying. And yet he's saying it's not concrete. And I went up there, that's not concrete, is it? You can see it clear as day that it's concrete. But anyway, the mainstream media are really, really trying to have their own narrative in this. They really are. I mean, let's put it this way. If they indeed do find human remains at this site, I don't think they're going to tell the mainstream media straight away because they have to get the police involved to shut this down, like the site down, and then it will become a crime scene. As a matter of fact, that was asked yesterday to the journalists of Channel 7. And I was standing there and said, yes, they will call this a crime scene. Question, are they using radar? You mean underground penetrating radar? I didn't say anything yesterday that they were, but that doesn't mean that they have been using it. Because every time when they stop, this one thing I want to say too, every time when they stop digging, you see a group of people running into the hole to investigate what they need to see, to do their research, and then they get on the phone, walkie-talkies, you name it, and then they'll get out of the hole and then they'll go again. I saw this at least a dozen times yesterday. The guy on the excavator will go down, he will dig, he will ding, and then he will stop. Instantaneously stop. He didn't bring the bucket up. Well, he'd bring the bucket up about this high off the ground, well, where the bottom of the dig hole is, right? He'll bring it up, but he will stop. And everybody, red hat, white hat, foreman, everybody that's involved in this dig, running to this hole. A few on the phone, a few on the walkie-talkies, you name it. So if they are using underground penetrating radar system, I presume so, but I did not see it. Also, I did see another cameraman on the inside. Looks like this is being documented as a documentary by the private investigators that's involved. I did see them on the site, on the other site. It wasn't mainstream media, it wasn't Channel 7 or anything. It looks like they are documenting this, filming this for a documentary. That's what I saw. You know, they've got a boom mic, they've got a expensive fucking camera too. I spoke to him. I hope so. I'm so worried they're going to run out of time with this dig. I say too, but here's the thing. I'm starting to go this way. If they don't find anything, like the Beaumont Children, at least they can close this chapter once and for all. However, in my gut feeling, what they should have done, and unfortunately they weren't given enough time to do this, I truly believe they should be allowed to dig up the whole entire factory. You get my point? Because what makes you say there's other people there? Because back in 2018, after the hole was dug, someone put a letter on the gate where the two cottages used to be down the front of the factory. You know, Jane and Anna are there, but Grant not. And there is also other bodies there. Also, catch these bastards, that Harry Phipps didn't do this alone. That was a letter. Now, whether that is true in what this person is actually claiming, who knows? It could be speculation, it could be a rumor, it could be a false lead, who knows? But that, on the 50th anniversary of the 50th, 9 years ago, that letter was put up on the front gate at the front of the cottages of Castalloy. I personally would love to see the whole factory site, and many people yesterday agree with me down there that the whole site needs to be dug up, the whole entire, but they don't have the time because the South Australian government only gave them 1 week before it gets sold off to redevelopments to put houses on it. Also, the private investigators, and I'm now saying this, no one is saying that the children were put into this grave-sized hole. No one said that. They just want to find the hole to say what was indeed put inside it, because you've got to ask yourself, why would you get two young boys in 1966 in 39 degrees Celsius, which is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, to dig a hole by hand? Remember, there was a shovel and whatnot. None of these power tools. It was done by hand in the blistering heat in summer of Australia for 2 days. They must have gone down a shit lot down for 2 days in 39-degree heat. What was the purpose to dig this hole? That's a mystery. What did Harry Phipps do after the children got paid a £1 note and told the two boys at that time to fuck off and don't come back? It's a mystery. My honest belief, something tragic happened to the Beaumont children. They didn't just vanish off the face of the earth like a bad magic trick or been exported overseas to sexual trade, or they've gone to a cult and changed their name, and you know what I mean? I truly believe something indeed tragic happened to the 3 young children. Something tragically happened. Where are they? I don't know. They are trying to look for the Beaumont children. Will they find them? They're hoping so. But first and foremost, they just want to find this hole first and foremost. Then they can investigate what was put into it. Until they find this hole, this grave-sized hole, I don't know what I can say. I mean, reports not like I was saying yesterday on the live stream. The reports weren't coming out that quick. It was a slow snail race. It was very, very slow reporting, and every time when the excavator stopped, everybody was running across the road to the fence to get up on the ladder to see what was going on, and this one was saying that one was saying that, and I was just turning around and I just said to the whole lot of them, "Oi, calm down. We don't know anything until they actually certify what's going on. Calm yourself down, for goodness sake. Stop panicking. You don't know anything yet." Shay's laughing and she's talking to you guys and everything like that. And she done a splendid job yesterday. Hats goes off to Shay. But anyway, let's see if there's any other reports. I doubt it. We've just had a press conference, so I don't even know if there will be any other reports yet. Right. So let's have a look. I doubt there's any other reports. They had a press conference. Let's have a look. Just bear with us for a second. I'm just going through my reports. Well, someone did a road rage up at a different location. Not at the site. It's a totally different. Not even newsworthy. All right, let's watch this press conference. Well, not this. Let's just watch this news article that happened early this morning. This is what the detectives are saying at the site. They've got to stop reporting like this. Just give me a second. You understand what I'm talking about in just a moment. All right? And I want everyone to pay attention to the last bit of what she's
dig.
Wait. Shay was saying something about you hear it. You hear it.
Investigators searching for the remains of the Beaumont children are holding out hope as they head into day 4 of a new dig. Hannah Ford has been covering the search and all the latest developments, and she joins us now from the site. Hannah, good afternoon. New information has come to light.
That's right, Tash. It's all or nothing for this project team now as we head into the final days of this dig, and it is a mammoth task. More than 1,500 cubic metres of soil has now been removed, and 7 News has been told there's been fresh advice overnight that will see the project team focus on the southwest corner of this site, the factory that was once owned by prime suspect Harry Phipps. They've also dug past the level of the soil level of 1966, which is of course the year that Jane, Anna and Grant Beaumont went.
They're animal bones. That's what they found yesterday when we took the cameras down. See how I mentioned about, if you follow my mouse here, this thing here, this is the longest piece. That is animal bone, not human remains. Animal.
Missing from Glenelg Beach. Investigators are keen now just to rule this site in or out as their possible final resting place. Take a listen.
We live in hope of finding something or eliminating as well. That's a big part of it, because he never said the children were put in the hole. We just know a hole was dug, and we need to know why he dug the hole 3 days after the children were taken.
So far, there have been some items of interest found, handfuls of bones that have been discounted as being from an animal, but we wait.
She just said there had been some bones that had been discounted as an animal. Well, what are they then? The archaeologist said in the press conference there hasn't been any other bones being found. They're not human. So, Hannah, I saw you yesterday. I met you yesterday. You've got to stop reporting shit.
And we watch with hope that this cold case will finally be solved.
No human remains has been found. If they're not animal bones, then what bones are they? It's not like you go down to your local toy store and get a rubber one. The archaeologists came out today in the press conference about an hour and a half ago. There had not been any bone found besides animal. Animal bones being found. I saw the bones yesterday. I saw the animal bones yesterday. And I just showed you. But to come out and report that some bones had been eliminated to be animal bones, that is a false report. And you were told to stop reporting about this by the archaeologists. Until I said to Hannah yesterday, I said to her straight to her face yesterday when she was up on the ladder, up on the fence. She goes up, you have to go up on the ladder, up on the fence to look over the fence to see the hole. Right? I told Hannah, stop speculating until it's been certified by the private excavators, diggers, and the archaeologists. Stop reporting shit. And what did Hannah do? She turned around and she gave me a wink. Because every time somebody hears something across the road where I was, they were running across the road in a fucking panic. And they were spreading fucking disinformation stories. And I just put my hands up and said, stop it. Just fucking stop this shit. You know the sensitivity of this case is? Rather than spreading bullshit, misinformation. Hannah was the one that reported 2 nights ago that was a concrete slab that they unearthed. It wasn't even a concrete slab. It was a solution element that was put into the soil to make the ground harder. And then they had to retract it 7 times just so it was a fucking element solution. I'm sorry, guys, for cursing on it, but this is just... You can understand. I said to the Advertiser, which is the newspaper here in Adelaide, they asked me, what's your purpose being here? I said, I don't have a theory. I just have opinions and I've got questions. I'm only saying it for what I see it. I only report on things the way I see it. I have to see it. So, yeah. They said they dug down to the 1966 level. Do they need to go down another 6 feet down below that yet? And indeed, they have done that. They have gone down below in some area, not all of it, some. They've got to go down at least another 2 to 3 meters below the 1966 ground level. They've got to go down below. What they are trying to find is red sand. Because that's what the boys remember. They're not boys, they're elderly men now, but they came to the site yesterday before Shay and I was there. And their memory of the memory came back to them yesterday, saying that what they remembered the day of the dig back in 1966 was red sand. And they actually indeed got one of the shovels and trying to recreate or reenact how they were digging with the shovel on the soil that is currently there. The soil there is way too hard right now, as you can imagine. But on the day of the hole that they dug, what they remember, it was soft. And it was a red sand color. Now, this area has got a shitload of sand, but it's a fine color sand. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for red sand. Red sand. So the two boys that dug the hole back in the night, they returned to the site yesterday. They're not boys anymore. They're elderly gentlemen now. And they reenact with the shovel to see if they can dig with they couldn't get into the soil, too hard. But anyway. But yeah, just to answer the question, they have gone below some areas. Which area has the red sand? Is it the 2018 site, or are they looking back at the 2013? Also, there is another hole number 4, that has never been dug, which is a couple of meters going back towards Marines Avenue. It's only a couple of meters. So where the 2018, 13, and whatnot, that's Kincaid, that's where we were yesterday. They are starting to dig hole number 4 as we speak right now, which is a couple of meters going back towards the factory of the 2018. And apparently there is a concrete slab there that they have to remove. Right? There is a concrete slab there. That's what the archaeologist said. There is a concrete slab. So, but mainly if you looked at the camera yesterday, it's to the left of the 2018. It's more towards the 2013. Right? But they are definitely going back to the 2013 dig and to see if they can find any red sand. But they are looking for red sand because the two boys went to the site yesterday and they remembered red sand. At the moment, it's just fine sand and the top is hard. The further you go down, it gets softer. And remember, when they were digging as well, the two boys, they remembered the hole was filling in on itself. It was soft. It was soft sand. It was caving in on them. But they're looking for red sand. Red sand. Not the fine sand that you see down at the beach. But I will say this, there's a shitload of, this area does have a shitload of sand. A shitload. I saw it yesterday. And it was dusty yesterday. Thank goodness that the wind was blowing the different direction away from us. Otherwise, we would have been covered in freaking dust yesterday. But, yes, they are going back to the 2013. Even though they did eliminate that hole 2 days ago, but now they're coming back to it. They've got to go down deeper. Keep on going. But at the same time, Time is ticking away. They don't have much time left. Now they've got to Saturday. Initially it was supposed to be Friday, and now it's Saturday. But I will want to say, I do indeed want to say this. We will be back on the site tomorrow live for about an hour or two because the phone goes flat. I know. I need to get a portable charger. I just don't have one yet. But see, when the cameras stop rolling, that's when it ramps up. Yeah, I'm so too. I'm worried that they are indeed going to run out of time because there haven't really been much reporting since they started. It's been slow, if you get what I mean. I mean, tomorrow we are taking a packed lunch with us because basically all you're doing is just sitting around, talking amongst other people, just waiting to see if something comes up. And then around about 3 o'clock yesterday around about 2, 3 o'clock yesterday, once the camera stopped rolling, that's when it started to get a bit exciting. But like I said, I was telling the mainstream media who was up on the fence, just fucking stop. Yeah, Shay will be joining me tomorrow. Shay will be joining me. She will be. All right, guys and girls and everyone in between, I'll wrap it up. That's the report. Right? That's a report for day 4. And if anything does come in between now till tool time, when they set the tools down, I'll come back to a short one. Other than that, I will see you all live tomorrow, back at the site once again for day 5, and to see if any of this red sand that they find, yeah, who knows? And fingers crossed. I'm not praying for this, but just fingers crossed that I may get to speak to Stuart Mullins or Bill Hayes. Just a little brief. But that was done as a video separate to a live stream. All right, if you haven't already done so, please like, share, comment. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. And thank you, everyone, for supporting this. The question's got to be, what am I going to do once this is completed on Saturday? We'll talk more about this case, but I'll come up with other cold cases that may tickle your fancies. You just never know. I have a bit more up my sleeve where this one comes from. But this one is the major one that I want to talk about because it's been so long. So stick around and we'll see you live tomorrow at the Old Castalloy factory for day 5, searching for the Beaumont Children. Take care.